High above in the meandyourmom.com blimp cam, giving you the latest aerial footage here at Watkins Glen for the Rocket League 100 Boost, sponsored by the 7 self-spinning Joseph Enright. Again, I'm Tom Torrey, a.k.a. the Horse Boat, calling all the action here all night long here for playoff race number 2 right here for the Gears Cup Series. Again, check it out. Practice is underway. 5 minutes. We'll have points and stats, the remaining schedule, and a lot more of Gears Racing League action coming up next. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Gears Cup Series playoffs. Bring you in now just a minute with me. Again, last week at Daytona, holy hell, that playoff opener looked like a mix between Days of Thunder and a redneck circus. Cars flying, bumpers flapping, and by the end of it, I'm pretty sure that at least 3 drivers needed a tetanus shot. And somehow, out of the chaos, Mike DeWalt picking up his first win in nearly 3 years. 3 years! That's not a wind drought, that is a biblical plague. Moses wandered the desert for the last time Mike went without a trophy. And honestly, when he crossed the finish line, I half expected NASCAR Jesus himself to descend from the clouds and hand him a Capri Sun. But now we leave the land of restrictor plate roulette and head north to Watkins Glen. Road course country, baby, which means lefts, rights, chicanes, elevation changes, and probably one poor bastard who forgets to brake and launches his car straight into upstate New York. This isn't Daytona anymore. This is where strategy, finesse, and maybe a few oops, I took 3 guys out on accident moments separate the contenders from the pretenders. Now I'm Tom Torrey, a.k.a. the Horseboat, and at the helm again tonight, steering this broadcast like a drunk pirate who just discovered nitrous. And my excitement off the damn charts. Somewhere between first lap dive bomb at turn 1 and your grandma just learned what Rocket League is and now she wants to play you. We've got 12 playoff drivers locked in and only 4 races left to sort out who's making it to the championship finale. And speaking of the finale, don't forget, Gears Presents Finale goes down September 8th at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, where the winner takes the crown, loser cries into a bush light, and right after the checkered flag, we roll straight into the Gears Racing League Awards, where the trophies are shiny, the roasts are savage, and I'm probably going to be too hammered to read the teleprompter. And before I forget, and the rumor mill still hasn't stopped spinning word on the street that I might be taking a little side trip in October to another league, another broadcast, maybe another excuse to yell about horsepower and questionable pit strategy. Can't confirm and can't deny, but let's just say I hope they've got insurance. So buckle your asses in, folks. This is the Rocket League 100 Boost at Watkins Glen, sponsored by the self-spinning 7 Joseph Enright at Watkins Glen. The playoffs are alive, the chaos is boiling, and by the end of tonight, somebody is getting their championship hopes sent into the wall harder than a noob who missed the brake pedal in turn 1. Again, thank you for going through that with me. It was hard to digest, but we are here, and we are happy to have you for the broadcast tonight. The Rocket League 100 Boost, sponsored by the 7 self-spinning Joseph Enright. I got it right the 3rd time around. Looking at the Gears Cup Series schedule here tonight, August 18th, that's where we're at. We have 3 races after this. Next week at Chicagoland on the 25th, and then September 1st, we're going to be at Richmond for the Earnhardt Tribute, and then the playoff finale, the championship, at Las Vegas, September 8th. I'll have special guests on board for that entire night. Racing League Awards to follow. You don't want to miss it. There is some good shit lined up for you. Heading now, looking into the points. That is the main thing. After Daytona, Kobe Hogan still has a 29-point lead over Joe Stafford. But Mike DeWalt, getting his first win of the season, vaults him up into 3rd position, 8 spots from where he was last week. Min Hang gets up 3 spots up into the 4th. Brad Gutierrez stays level in 5th. Now you see Jesse Becker making a run, Aiden Donahue, Gary Owen, Jacob Malone, Connor Rowe, Blake Schneider, all sliding down the leaderboard in the playoffs, while Travis Stroney is up 2 spots. Again, that guy got in on a whim, and he's making the most of it here in the playoffs. Again, we'll go back to that while we can. 30 seconds left on the board before we get in to qualifying. Again, tonight you have 45 laps here at Watkins Glen. You have 4 tire sets from which you can show up with. Again, the set you have on, and then 3 over the wall. And then incident limit is up to 64. So again, we anticipate turn 1. If you're not used to iRacing, the understanding is you should be able to go outside that turn 1. I don't know what you call it over there. Give you a little bit of extra room there outside of turn 1, but it gets counted as an incident point around that turn. So again, if they take it wide, they're going to be able to do so and not have to worry about that so much. But qualifying up next for the Rocket League 100 Boost. Sponsored by the 7 self-spinning Joseph Enright. Giving you fresh views up above in the meandyourmom.com blimp cam. Again, use promo code DVDA for 50% off your first purchase. Again, thank you for the latest follows. Fenway2365, Jay Beechnor, Physics, Grayson Levi 299. And again, Gen 6 cars here tonight, not the next gen which you're used to seeing. We'll turn down the music here and turn up the qualifying. All right. So our first person again who moved up 2 spots last week, or this week from last week, Travis Stroney, leading his first laps around here at Watkins Glen, around that carousel. Let's get right into it with him. Again, this is his warm-up lap here. This is going to be the real deal coming around the final turn. Riding on board, off to the front stretch, and here we go. Again, Gen 6 cars here tonight. Horsepower aplenty. If you're looking for speed, be prepared to have some fun here tonight. Now, I anticipate maybe a caution here tonight, but I think these guys are well suited here at road courses. It's one of their strengths here in gears. Going up the hill goes the 14 Mobile 1 of Travis Stroney. Tonight for a Monday night. That's not good for Tuesday night, Tom. Going through the S now. Cars hopping all over. I'm told the rumble strips, that's the word I was looking for earlier, are a little slick. Oh, Stroney gets a little wiggle there. To keep her straight. Doing a hell of a job. Going around that first and the final turn, getting around pretty well, I should say. First time for Stroney. Looks like a minute 13, which is going to be 5th fastest right now. Joe Stafford with a 1:11 with the fastest lap right now. So Stroney has some ground to make up if he's going to do anything here. And let's jump, shall we, to another playoff contender, Gary Owen, which is in a similar position on his qualifying car. Again, that Target 87 Gen 6 car. He's been fast in the Gen 6 this year, all season long when we've had those races. Call them a little showcase races because like, it's cool to... You know, it's the same car, but it isn't. See where Stroney's at. Oh, he's just around the same position. See if Stroney can improve on that first lap time. Gary, I'll let you know what he comes across the line with here in just a moment. Jacob Malone with a 1:11.10, faster than Joe Stafford by a hair. And it looks like Stroney with a 1:12.89. Not going to be good enough to move. He's going to be 11th fastest. Another playoff contender, Jesse Becker, 1:13.74 for his first lap time. Coming across the final corner for his second. What will it be? Bada bing, bada boom. And 1:12.69, bumping everybody back a step from 10th on back. Jesse Becker qualifies 9th for the Rocket League 100 Boost. Going back now to Gary Owen. Well, actually, let's go to the 20 of Mike DeWalt. Flex Volt Battery DeWalt Toyota Camry. It fucks my name up every time I say Mike DeWalt. It fucks the name up for me. That's why I'm all around. Strong car last week at Daytona, comes through a win, snapping his streak, as I said in my monologue. Want to stress to everybody, Gary Owen come around for lap 1, slides out of that turn onto the front stretch. So we're going to get a recording of Daytona. We're going to redo it and get it done. Haven't done that yet, but we will get that done here soon. I have gear superiors on my ass for that, so I will get to work on that as soon as I can. Gary Owen, first lap time, 1:11.73. Good enough for 5th place here going up the hill. We'll come back to him in just a moment. Let's switch it up to Mike D's Nuts DeWalt. Loves a good set of crab legs. Just kidding, I just gave him that moniker D's Nuts because it seemed like a fit. First lap time for Mike DeWalt will be. Ooh. I lied, he didn't put down a lap yet. Looks like it's lap number 1 for him. Gary Owen, 1:11.73. We're going to hang out with him just for a moment as he goes through the S's, through the carousel, onto the final couple turns. Woo! Getting a little sideways, coming out of turn, whatever it is. Across the start-finish line, I keep forgetting what turn that is. 1:12.14. And off he goes. Mike DeWalt, let's go back to him if we can. Toby time, 44. Thank you for your follow. Bring us up to 6:59. Appreciate that. Mike DeWalt, 1:15.97 is his first lap time. Going to try to do it again. Again, a little extra time here being added because it's a road course. Typically qualifying is only 5 minutes. They have upped that to 10 here tonight. So again, across the top of your screen, that is, we're going to give you the best time that they've got right now. Of those who qualified, again, we have, looks like, about 25, 26 drivers here tonight. So far, Mike DeWalt good enough for 17th. Coming out of the final turn onto the front stretch goes Mike DeWalt. He's going to qualify. Hopefully a little faster. 1:11.76 up to 8th for Mike DeWalt. Before I forget, Mike DeWalt sponsoring next week's race at Chicagoland. Again, he's going to be signing babies, doing whatever you want. But yeah, that. Mike DeWalt sponsoring next week. DeWalt Power Tools 200 at Chicagoland, right here on Twitch.tv. But that is it for qualifying. Jacob Malone, Joe Stafford, Aiden Donahue, Min Hang, Connor Rowe, Gary Owen, Colby Hogan, Mike DeWalt, Jake Hall, and Blake Schneider, your top 10. And while we can, let's go back for the playoff picture. This is what we're looking at here tonight, heading into Daytona. Again, Jacob Malone, your pole sitter. It's huge for him tonight to get that. That is a W in and of itself for the bonus points that come with fastest qualifier for the pole sitter. But you see Joe Stafford up there, Aiden Donahue, Min Hang, Connor Rowe, Gary Owen, Colby Hogan, Mike DeWalt. All these guys in the conversation for the championship. Again, qualifying is wrapping up, and then they will go to a 3-minute warm-up. Again, this would be a good time to get up, grab a beer, grab a beverage, get ready. And I'm going to plug it at least one time here. Again, be sure to sub and follow. If you got a Prime, you got one to use. Again, commercial-free broadcast all playoff season long for the next 4 races. Again, go ahead, do that for yourself so you don't have to listen to those fucking commercials. I know how they suck, and I apologize. People complain about them. But we gots to have them. Again, Rocket League 100 boost powered by the 7 self-spinning Joseph Enright. And if you don't sub, I don't care. Don't sub. I don't give a shit. I'm just glad you're here, glad you're watching. Okay, grab a beverage. Take 60 seconds. We will be right back. Welcome back to the Gears Cup Series live at Watkins Glen for the Rocket League 100 boost powered by the 7 self-spinning Joseph Enright. Again, I am your host, Tom Torrey, a.k.a. The Horse Spoke, calling all the action all season long. This is race 22 of 25, race number 2 of the playoffs. As we are just about set to get underway for green flag action. Not many people to interview in the playoff pool tonight, but let's check it out. We're going to talk to our pole sitter. Jacob Malone, you got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Jacob Malone on the front row here tonight. How are you feeling? Give us about 15 seconds or less. How are you feeling about your chances here at Watkins Glen?
I'm feeling good, but I also really want to do well because of the playoff situation after Daytona.
I mean, you snuck in the playoffs, dude. You've kind of made a statement to everybody saying that you could make it, and logically you could have made it, and you did, miraculously. How are you feeling here? What's the plan going tonight? Are you trying to 1-stop or 2-stop? What's your game plan?
Oh, I didn't even think about that. Oh, no. I was focused on saving tires. That's the only thing I care about right now, is managing my equipment, trying to stay within a 0x, which is very low chance of doing, but it would be nice to get that extra point, lead a few laps, and kind of survive. I want to finish top 3, and I'm starting from the front row, so that should help me out.
There you go, man. Well, I wish you the best of luck. Get out there, and we'll do our grid walk.
Thank you. Have a good one.
You too. Thank you. Again, that is our pole sitter, Jacob Malone, not to be confused with Watermelon. Let's get ready to do our grid walk here tonight for the Gears Cup Series. Doesn't get much better than this, folks. Get hot and heavy. Boom. All right, so on the front row here tonight, Jacob Malone, you just heard his voice, pole sitter for the Rocket League 100 boost. Outside of him is going to be the 57 of Joe Stafford. In row number 2, not pictured, the 82 of Aiden Showtime Donahue, and the outside of him going to be the 11 of Min Hang. In row 3, it's going to be the 5 of Connor Rowe, and not pictured, the 87 of Gary Owen. Row number 4 is going to be the 10 of Colby Hogan. and the 20 of Mike DeWalt. Row 5 is going to have the 98 badly schemed of Jake Hall and the 6 of Blake Schneider. Row 6 is the 77 of Rob Rosello Jr. and the 97 of Jesse Becker. Row 7, we have the 35 of Austin Thomas and the 69 of Jonathan Militia. In row 8, we have the 38 of Jeremy Eshelman and the 14 of Travis Stroney. In row 9, we have the 19 of Keaton Salyers and not pictured the 84 of Brad Gutierrez. In row 10, we have the 7 self-spinning Joseph Enright and the 18 of Kyle Munson. In row 11, both not pictured, the 43 of Josh Cole and the 88 of Hector Colazzo. And then rounding out the bottom of our field in row 12, the 9 of Steven Jr. and not pictured, the deuce of Ryan Robertson. Again, thank you all for joining us here tonight as we get ready to go. One more shot from high above in the meandyourmom.com blimp cam. If your mom needs a face, sit on it someplace. You know where to go, meandyourmom.com. Trackside. Again, I hope you are ready for an action-packed race here tonight at Watkins Glen. It's gonna get buck wild. I know it. I feel it. I feel it in my loins. Unsponsored here tonight. Not sure why that is, but I'm sure he might tell us later if he wins. Again, coming around the carousel, they're getting ready to kick off race number 2 of the Gears Cup Series playoffs. Again, only 5 races this season, no eliminations. It is just 12 drivers mad dashing for the cash. All right, again, folks, I hope you are ready. We are just about to kick this thing off. Looks like 4 drivers starting. Looks like from pit lane or didn't make the show. But pace car is going to be off, and we are going to be underway here. We are going to be green for the Rocket League 100 boost. Sponsored by the 7 self-spinning and Joseph Enright. So the blimp cam going into turn 1 to see what we can see. Does anybody get moved? Does anybody wreck? Oh, we got the 14 and 19 making best friends. Travis Stroney, the first victim early on. Going back up the hill we go. Stroney, that is brutal for Travis. No fun. And those rumble strips are slick. Rosello now around in the S's. These Travis Stroneys go Jacob Malone coming around turn 10 and 11. And on to the front stretch. He is going to lead the first lap of the Rocket League 100 boost. Got about 2 seconds on the rest of the field right now. Right along with last week's winner, Mike DeWalt. Yeah, you see him back out just a little bit. That horsepower again, not using the next gen car, Gen 6. The choice here tonight. See how he handles this S-turn. Gently get into that. Everybody seems to be getting along just fine right now. Colby Hogan in that Tide 10. Now you know that guy likes Tide Pods. That son of a bitch loves Tide Pods. Riding on board with Tide Pod man Colby Hogan. He tells me every time he takes a Tide Pod, he can hear colors. That's pretty messed up. Blake Schneider, that Intel inside Ford Mustang going up the hill. That purple, black, and blue. Purple, whatever, pink, I don't know, magenta, whatever you want to call it, I don't know. Having a good run here so far in 10th. Biggest mover so far is the 7 of Joseph Enright. Again, tonight's sponsor. Very lucky to have him on board with his sponsorship tonight. Thank you for that and supporting Gears and all that we do here. Give the 7 some TV time right now. Laps of 45 complete. Again, the fuel window that I have been told is about 20 to 21 laps. So for me, do you try to run a little slower to kind of stretch that fuel mileage out? Or do you try to run it as fast as you can, pit, and then run it out as fast as you can, maybe having it to stop twice? Timmy Sims said, so sad I'm not racing. Yeah, me too, man. I don't know why you're not in here. Chicagoland coming up next week. I'm excited for that. I hope you all are too. Looking up front to the McDonald's. Looks like Summit Blue Chew. Maybe that's a Blue Chew pill that looks like the Big Mac movie. Jacob Malone, Joe Stafford, Min Hang, Aiden Donahue, Gary Owen, your top 5 currently. The Connor Rowe, Mike DeWalt, Colby Hogan, Jake Hall, and Jonathan Militia rounding out your top 10. Right now, for the Rocket League 100 boost, there is Jonathan Militia, that 69 Coors TH Designs machine. That Toyota Camry is flying here so far. Track I truly enjoy watching today. Looks like Jake Hall went off track. Let's find out what the hell that was all about. I'd love to see it. Oh, he said, oh shit, son. And back on track. and that guy has to get a better paint scheme. Anybody out there that paints the 98 car needs a paint scheme. Somebody help him. For the love of God. Perfect segue into our first Loose and Loud. Going to give you a couple laps so I can recover. It's sponsored by the 7 Self-Spinning Joseph Enright. And thank you for your support. This is your first Loose and Loud here tonight on the Horse Boat Channel. bring you back in now as the pass was just made for second. Joe Stafford gets surpassed by Aiden Donahue as we head up the hill. 10 laps of 45 completed. Jacob Malone, Aiden Donahue, Joe Stafford, Min Hang, and Gary Owen, your top five. with Connor Rowe, Mike DeWalt, Kobe Hogan, Jonathan Militia, and Jake Hall rounding out your top 10. And looking from 7th place perspective of Mike DeWalt, looks like he's just letting it go right now. Again, another 10 laps or so. We're going to start seeing that fuel window come through. So again, keep your eyes peeled for that. Again, good run so far by Mike DeWalt. Started in 8th, now up to 7th. Again, only one spot. But again, biggest mover of the night has been Joseph Enright. Trying to crack that top 10 is the 7 car, and he is about a little over a second and a half back from Jake Hall. And Jake Hall right here, not that far back. Definitely very catchable, but again, at the same time, you want to be a little bit conservative. You see Jake Hall and Jonathan Militia now battling for that 9th place spot, but inevitably Militia holding it down in 9th. Again, I want to remind everybody next week, the DeWalt Power Tool 200 at Chicagoland. Be there on hand as we will be in the heat of the moment, heat of the playoff season with race 3 of 5, kind of at our peak. It'll be a good one. Again, right here, same bat time, same bat channel with the Gears Racing League Cup Series playoff. Here on twitch.tv/horsebow. And you're watching now 9th place of Jonathan Militia. Let's move up a little further. Let's see what we can see. Alex Daig says, as far as I know, 20 is 2-stopping. Can we switch from best lap to last lap? Fine, just because I love you. Joe Stafford Sr. says, caution-free race. Yes, it will be. Unless there's a parking lot out there where race control has to intervene, it should be caution-free. No worries, no worries. Dale Pringle. Just saw you in the stream there. Hopefully you're having a good evening. And watching the battle between Min Hang and Gary Owen. Top 3 not changing right now. This is a battle for 4 between the 87, 11, and the 5. Mike DeWalt kind of just biding his time. Same thing with Colby Hogan. Let me know how the stream quality is out there tonight. I'd love to know. I know last week Twitch was having some issues. I thought it was me for a minute, but I don't think it was, because other people reported having problems as well. And I was like, man, if it's 2 weeks in a row, then we've got something to talk about. Yeah, Alex takes his streams looking golden. I appreciate that. That's awesome. That's great to hear. Kyle Munson there in 18th, Steven Jr. in 19th, Keaton Salyers holding it down in 20th. Brad Gutierrez, Ryan Robertson, Josh Cole, Hector Colazzo, all no-shows here tonight. But this is where the action is, right up near the front. Horse Brogues grabbing another horse beer. Nay. Awesome. Thank you, Joe Stafford Sr. Appreciate that. Again, glad you're here using that month sub. You're going to have it through the whole playoffs. Again, Joe Stafford right up front. Let's give your boys some TV time. See him competing on board here. See the mud kicking up there coming out of the S turn. Redneck firefighter, oh shit, got a battle for first road. It is, it really is. Hot and heavy up in here. So much so that 4th and 5th are right there. But again, we are nearing closer and closer to that pit window. And it looks like Mike DeWalt has entered pit lane. Colby Hogan has entered pit lane. So these guys are making early stops. Looks like 2 stopping it. Looks like Jonathan Militia as well. So looks like Toyota's at least road soda for the most part. Everybody on board with that. I would expect Kyle Munson to follow. As he will. Looks like 1 Ford, but a bunch of Toyotas following suit here. But leading the chain is Jacob Malone. Unsponsored, but he don't care. To the window, to the walls. We got a block party going on. And it's 1 through 6. Who's going to break from this group and pit? Malone and the 82 of Donahue will do that. Mid-hang now. Your leader, Gary Owen and Joe Stafford. Again, some drivers think they can only one-stop. They only have to one-stop this. I don't know necessarily that is the case, especially if you only have 20 to 21 laps of fuel. It makes me wonder if somebody could do it. All the track time these 5 have right now between Hang, Owen, Stafford, and Rowe, excuse me, these 4. If they can only one-stop this race, that would be terrific if they could hold out that long. Again, we're talking another 9 laps or so after this. I don't know if they can do it. They've been going hard. Yeah, looks like Rowe is backing out. Now there were 3 between Ben Hang, Gary Owen, and Joe Stafford. See if Joseph Enright looks like he is battling with Jake Hall right now and Blake Schneider. Wonder if these folks will pit. Jake Hall to the inside, going real slow, so I would imagine he is taking the pit lane. Yes, he is. He's taking it. So is Blake Schneider. Eshelman is not. But up the hill they go. A little bit of separation between 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. Probably a good thing as they get into the S turn. Mike must have sped on pit road. Let me see. I believe. I don't know if he did. I don't see a penalty being applied, but I could be wrong. In mid-hang, Gary Owen, Joe Stafford leading the group right now. Who will drop off this time by? Anyone. No takers for the top 3. Enright all by himself. Malone now back up to 6th with Donahue. Again, Gary Owen trying to keep pace here, doing an excellent job. Joe Stafford as well, just hanging around. And that's all you really need. You don't have to be amazing at this road course to survive. God, man. Blows my eardrums out every time. Again, these three, I should say, still have not pitted. Everybody else, I don't think Joseph Enright, Jeremy Eshelman has not pitted. Austin Thomas, Travis Stroney has yet to pit. Keaton Salyers, Stephen Jr., and Jesse Becker all have yet to pit. So everybody else trying to play it a little bit more to the cut line. If they can make it, they're going to try. Give a lot of credit to those who think they can. And if they can make it, that's the tip of the cap. Yeah, this battle has been raging for a couple laps now, and I don't think, I mean, Gary's looking to make a move and hang protecting that inside line. Gary taking a peek, but not going to go for it. And it's early, we all know that. But they are hanging tough and hanging together. Does Joe Stafford pit here? No, he does not. The man from Philly, running in third right now, starting in second, having a solid run in the 57. Hats off to the Gears drivers tonight, putting on a great show so far. Strategy is aplenty, and if you're a fan of that, well, you are having a feast. Ben Hank still out in front now with Gary Owen, Joe Stafford. And then you have Joseph Enright, Jeremy Eshelman, Jacob Malone, Aiden Donahue, Connor Rowe, Mike DeWalt, and Colby Hogan, your top 10. Alex Daig, my color commentator in the chat. Both strategies have a pair of guys nose to tail right now. This is good stuff. And at least that is the benefit of this race. I mean, there's not going to be a caution unless something crazy happens, where race control has to intervene, where we have a proverbial parking lot, which we cannot move quickly through. You know, this race is going to go pretty quick. Malone getting a little wiggly coming out of there. Oh, trying to keep it together. Wow, we saw that live here, folks. Donahue. That could have been the turning point in this race. Once Min Hang and the crew go to pit, Aiden Donahue overtaking Jacob Malone right there when Malone just had a sudden lapse of judgment as we were going through that loud turn where they got the microphone way close to the goddamn track. I can't hate on it though. There's some tracks where we don't get enough. Mike DeWalt currently in 10th right now. Part of that early group that pitted. But again, we are seeing the 11, the 87, and the 57. All of them have not pitted. Owen all over the ass of mid-hang. Looks like Hang, Owen are going to pull off. So is Joe Stafford, and the top three have finally said, we are going to pit with 23 laps to go. Looks like Steven Jr. leaving pit lane right now. Aiden Donahue, Jacob Malone now making up all that track time. Going to come and take over the lead. The 82 going to presume the lead right now. Oh, little wiggly going into one. Again, some of these guys don't practice the Gen 6 as they practice the other car, the next gen or this current gen, if you want to call it that. I don't really call it the next gen anymore because we've been in it for a while. But these Gen 6 have a lot more horsepower than the next gens at most tracks. Looks like the 82 and the 45 taking a carousel turn nice and slow. Steven Jr. now driver to contend with up front there to be put a lap down. He is currently running 19. This should be interesting going into turn one. I lied to you. It's not interesting at all. It's pretty boring. Mike DeWalt, dude, pit stop moved up into fourth. If you want to know where Gary Owen, Mid-Hang, and Joe Stafford are, they are 6th, 7th, and 8th. Watch this group march now towards the front. Pressure tires, full tank, ready to bang. Donahue and Malone now fighting with Keaton Salyers and Steven Jr. Lap traffic going to play a role in this as well, of course. Steven Jr. trying to get the hell out of the way. Now this should be an interesting turn one. I lied again. Oh, nope. Jake Malone almost made it much more interesting. Kept the car together. That inevitably is going to hurt him as far as tire wear goes. And a little wiggly here all over the track here on this next set. Aiden Donahue, Jacob Malone, Connor Rowe, Mike DeWalt, Gary Owen, your top five. Joe Stafford, Colby Hogan, Min Hang, Jonathan Militia, and Jesse Becker rounding out your top 10. Not sure what happened that caused Min Hang to drop back to 8th there, but he was once leading that group, is no longer. Again, to note, the 11, the 57, and the 87 trying to pull the one-stopper here. "20 laps to go when the 82 crosses the line. And this has been a fantastic race here so far for the Gears Cup Series. Playoff race number 2 of 5 at Watkins Glen for the Rocket League 100 Boost, sponsored by the 7 self-spinning Joseph Enright. have you next week. It just gets even better with the DeWalt Power Tools 200. Sponsored by Mike DeWalt. Same bad time, same bad channel. Again, come around 7:45 Eastern, 6:45 Central. Enjoy some jams, enjoy the vibes, and get ready for Gears Cup Series action right here on Twitch.tv. One more loose and loud while we can do it for you. Right here, right now. here with 14 laps to go as we cross the Gary Owen, your leader, Joe Stafford, Min Hang, Aiden Donahue, and Jacob Malone. Now again, the 87, 57, and 11 are the ones that are trying to pull off this one stop. We saw during our Loose and Loud that Jacob Malone, Connor Rowe, Mike DeWalt, Colby Hogan, those guys, they have all been at Jonathan Militia. But holding out, trying to make it, trying to believe that they can win this thing. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. The one-stoppers have enough gas, they're going to win. Yeah, absolutely. Most John Madden statement I ever heard. I know a thing or two about John Madden. But Joe Stafford, again, the top 7 on the leaderboard here are all playoff contending drivers. All of them have a stake in the game here tonight that's bigger than just winning the race. Championships is at stake. Looks like Wet Wizard Jacob says, I'm rooting for Gary again tonight. Looking good. Gary has looked fantastic tonight. Fantastic. Let's ride on board with Gary. Just get the vibe. Hit me with the intervals. You got it. Boom. Ask and you shall receive. Again, Gary out to almost a second over Min Hang, but Min Hang is right there. Joe Stafford has been right there. It'll be interesting to see as these laps wind down if they really truly have enough or if somebody's playing possum. You are right. Donahue absolutely could catch him. Yes, 20 seconds behind, but not something that he cannot overcome. He could persevere if something happens. He would need some good luck to come his way. Again, right now, as it stands, as your leaderboard comes across your screen, Gary Owen, Min Hang, Joe Stafford, Aiden Donahue, Jacob Malone, Connor Rowe, Mike DeWalt, Joseph Enright, Colby Hogan, and Jeremy Eshelman rounding out your top 10. Running on board now, the 57 of Joe Stafford. Joe being up front and all night long has done a great job keeping his car straight and hanging with these leaders. Good strategy here tonight in the championship home stretch. But as our watchful eye in the sky, Aiden Donahue is now only 17 seconds back, but he's gaining a couple seconds every lap. He is cooking. Broncos country, let's ride. Very random, not so random to me. Early onset dementia. Gary Owen still your leader. Getting it on. Out in front. Again, the 11 of Min Hang trying to track him down. It would mean a lot for that 11 and his team. I know he's worked very hard They all did the math. For these 3 to 1 stop would be amazing, and I actually hope they accomplish this. Munson holding up the 82 could be the difference. Let's take a look. Oh, I think he's already around him. Yeah, looks like he is clear. Yeah, there's Munson right there. Beautiful mellow yellow scheme. Beautiful drink. Very beautiful drink. Love it. Gary Owen definitely could pull this off right now. 10 laps to go for the Rocket League 100 boost. Cross the line. We'll have 9 left. Great run here so far. Only a couple incidents to speak of, but nothing to warrant a caution or warrant anybody's ire. We have had a great race, and honestly, the Coors Lights have been smooth. Donahue only made up a half second that lap due to the 18. Yeah, you're right. Matt watches those intervals like a hawk. Hey, Matt, do you like this one? It's the car logos. You can see what manufacturer they are. Just kidding. 87, 11, 57, 82, 45. Your top 5. We have 8 laps to go. Joe seemingly about 2 seconds back, falling away. See him working that wheel right now, trying to keep it together. That horsepower is something to behold. Hard to wheel. Oh, shit! I don't know what happened there. He's okay. I thought he hit something. Jake Hall now in the fray here between the 11 and 87. So now it looks like it is a 2-horse race. Seven laps to go for the Rocket League 100 boost, sponsored by the 7 self-spinning Joseph Enright. Donahue now about 15 seconds back. Not going to have enough, I'm afraid, to make anything happen here. But I haven't heard if the top 3 is going to be short. I don't believe they would be, but you never know at this point. Sometimes when you're too deep in the game, you're kind of all in at this point, hoping that maybe your other comrades, other competitors are in the same boat. Again, if you have to pit, that's going to bring in Donahue into the picture, and fast. Jacob Malone's a little bit of an outside contender at this point. But the 87, the 11, and the 57 need to be good on fuel if they want to hold out right now and win this race. 87 especially, the 11 now. trying to gather his juices. See if he can make one final run at the 87. But these cars right now, you can tell with the tires, it is so loose. So loose right now. Travis Stroney has crashed. Let's check it out. All right. Travis Stroney, part 2. Oh, boy. Meow. Not too bad for the 14. Held it together, and away he goes. Gary Owen now putting the pressure on Travis Stroney. Stroney. Oh, Lord. I'm sure that wasn't intentional by any means, but that got a little hairy coming around 11. Five laps to go in the Rocket League 100 boost. Gary Owen is your leader. Min Hang in second. Joe Stafford third. Aiden Donahue fourth. And the 45 of Jacob Malone in fifth. Connor Rowe, Mike DeWalt, Colby Hogan, Joseph Enright, Jeremy Eshelman, your top 10. Connor Rowe looks like he is on pit lane currently. Yes, the 5 is the supercar. Looks like an S. He's super. Mid-hang. This could be an anticlimactic finish. Connor now dropping as far as 11th so far. 12th now. Four laps to go. Gary Owen. He can do it, folks. Again, Gary would pick up his second win of the year if he could do it. Now, he pit last on lap 22. So you know he's probably taking care of it at this point. Connor Rowe slander continues in the chat, and I'm here for it. Gary Owen, 3 laps to go. Chat says absolutely cinema right now. Wet Wizard Jacob, I'm gonna pin that shit. You are right. You are right. 100%. Gary Owen, the Canadian sensation. Mike Good, 26, bringing us to 660. Thank you very much. But again, Gary Owen, a rookie in our league. Not a rookie to iRacing, but he's a damn good driver in the Gen 6 car. And he's leading the way with 3 laps to go. Oh, you're from Going Stream. That's awesome. Welcome. Welcome aboard. Thank you. Again, big fan of Gary's. Long before he joined Gears, was excited when I found out he was here, and even more excited when he committed to the season. Now he's in the championship and on his way to win number 2. Again, he holds the cards right here as we're getting set for 2 laps to go. Mike Good 26 says, I would participate maybe, but I don't have that many tracks. Hey, maybe next season. We are open for 2026. 2 laps to go for the 87 Target Machine in the Rocket League 100 boost, sponsored by the 7 self-spinning Joseph Enright. Again, all eyes are on Gary Owen Minhang. Yeah, looks like he's about 5.5 seconds and counting. Back Joe Stafford within striking distance. And going through the edge, Joe Stafford has a shot here at catching mid-hang. We're going to watch this for a moment. But you know what time it is. The bell is ringing. The fat lady's singing. Gary Owen, your leader, coming out of turn 10 and 11. Whoa, Jesse Becker almost kills back there. We have 1 lap to go for the Rocket League 100 boost. Gary Owen, your leader. Mid-hang, Joe Stafford, Aiden Donahue, Jacob Malone, Mike DeWalt, Colby Hogan, Joseph Enright, Jeremy Eschman, Jonathan Milish in your top 10. Good night here for Road Soda. Part-time works in 2026, absolutely. Mid-hang, Joe Stafford, nothing for each other. Aiden Donahue's done some work, though. Got to give him credit. Closing in on third. I don't think he'll have enough time, but done a great job. I've been watching Gary since like 2012. It's amazing. Let's go. Hell yeah. I've been watching him for about 2 years now. Very exciting stuff. That Target 87 Chevrolet Camaro coming around turn 11 out onto the front stretch. Your winner of the Rocket League 100 boost is Gary Owen. Your unofficial results are to the left. The party has started for the 87 team. Gary Owen wrapping this one up. Getting win number 2 at the right time. Rookie of the Year nominee. And a man that's getting probably a lot of votes for that. Holy shit. That was fantastic. But that is your winner, Gary Owen. Post-race interviews up next. Again, the Rocket League 100 boost sponsored by the 7 self-spinning Joseph Enright. Canadians on top. Tonight they are on top here at Gears. Let that flag fly. All right, we get set for the Gears Cup Series post-race show. Again, an amazing race that was Watkins Glen. Gary Owen walking away your winner, and it was an exciting finish. Let's get on the horn right away with Joe Stafford. Joe started on the front row, ended in third. But again, you had a solid night. You've had a solid car all season long contending for a championship. How are you feeling after your events here at Watkins Glen?
I feel pretty good. I can't complain with another podium. I kind of lacked those early on in the season. Still fighting for that win, but it'll come eventually. Just burned up my tires there too much and a little bit of fuel strategy, so I had to back off. And Gary played it the best, and he won because of that reason.
Yeah, I mean, you guys, you, Min, and Gary all night long did the one-stopper, which a lot of drivers played it safe and didn't do that. You were not one of those. Were you intentionally going to do the one stop, or what were your plans going into tonight?
I was up. Yeah, I was actually up on the fence about the pitch strategy all week. I did a full race run, and I was short one lap, so I knew I just had to lift and coast either the first or second run, and I chose to do it the second run when it got strung out, and it worked out. I ran out coming across the line, though.
I mean, you guys played it perfectly. Couldn't have done it any better myself. Anybody you want to give a shout out here to tonight?
Yeah, shout out to my mom and dad watching. Shout out to you for broadcasting. Shout out to Chester Water Authority. Shout out to John. Shout out to everyone.
Well, congratulations, man. You are setting the stage for a championship run. Again, next week at Chicagoland, we'll see you here.
Yes, sir.
Again, that was Joe Stafford finishing in third, and Min Hang joining us now in second. A great run here tonight. Started in fourth. Ended up in second. How do you feel about your run tonight?
I feel pretty good, man. I'm actually not supposed to be here. The internet cut out, so I had to come up with something clever racing on a hot spot. I'm very lucky it didn't disconnect while I was racing. So I'm very, very happy to pull away a second place. I'm just happy to finish in general. So, I mean,
Man,
all in all, it was a great race.
That is amazing.
I know, yeah. It's T-Mobile, too. Think about it, Tom. T-Mobile.
Wow, that's a tip of the cap. Tip of the cap right there, my friend.
Yeah, but hotspot aside, the race was good. I was just focused on, I knew it was going to be a one stop, so I had to save a little fuel. That tends to be in my wheelhouse a little bit. So had to do that a little bit, had to give up finally for the win there at the end because I had to save a little bit. But again, all in all, just happy to come home with a podium. That's good points on the championship. It's still a long way there, but any gain is, we turned a slim hope into a real hope, I think.
Well, I mean, you've got 3 races left. This is none other. This was a great second place finish. Anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Shout out to Josh. Gave me a few pointers. Helping me with some other stuff. Travis, obviously, team owner, helping me out. And shout out to Joe. I know I moved him a little bit in the last corner there on one of those laps. It sounded a little too hard. To appreciate him not, sending me back or anything. And just overall, I thought everyone was pretty respectful and good racing all around. So shout out whole field.
Fantastic. Well, congratulations on a second place finish, and we'll see you here next week at Chicagoland. All right, it is party time in Canada. Gary Owen doing your thing, pulling it off, the Rocket League 100 Boost winner. How are you feeling winning win number 2 here this season?
Oh, I feel great, man. I tell you what, I don't even know what to say about that one. I mean, I won earlier in the season at Darlington, but this is hands down my favorite win so far of the 2. I mean, very similar scenario. It came down to feel at the end. We had a top 5 car on the low end, so I knew we were going to have a great night regardless. But it's crazy. It's something about, I get in this car that I have less experience in, and I feel like I run way better than the next-gen car. I mean, what do I even say? I'm just stoked that we pulled off the win tonight.
It was an amazing win. Again, the one-stopper. Some drivers did it, some drivers didn't. Was that your intention the whole time, was to do one stop, or how did that play out for you?
Absolutely. I was honestly really surprised. I don't know if you heard, you can't hear the game chat, I guess, because you're broadcasting, but the guys at 2-stop were whining about the race turning into a one-stop. And for me, I knew by the end of the first lap that the one-stop was possible. So I was like, what are you guys whining about? You had a good 20 laps to get that all sorted out. That's a good half hour. So I was really surprised to see them try the 2-stop because, I mean, by the end of the first lap, I knew it was a one-stop race. And then I just kind of calmed down a little bit. And I'm like, all right, if we can keep with these guys, and we held on to the, fight with the lead. I mean, when they pitted for their first stop, we were right on their back bumpers. So I knew at that point that the fact they didn't drive away, that we were in a super good position when they committed to the 2-stop.
Yeah, I mean, I think you could chalk that up to maybe inexperience for some of these drivers, not maybe putting in enough practice to understand it, or even doing the math. So, again, you could chalk it up to that. You could chalk it up to basically just bitching for the sake of bitching. You can do whatever you can use whatever reasoning you want, Gary. The fact of the matter is, you won at a pivotal time. You have 3 races to go, but you are making a championship run, my friend. Anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Well, real quick, that championship run's gonna be tough after I blew my engine in Daytona. That was embarrassing. I knew I needed a good bounce back, but hey, you know what? Winning the race is a decent solution. So if we can go do that maybe 3 more times, you never know. But yeah, I just want to shout out, as usual, my parents are watching. My dad, my mom, my dad came in. He was hollering, congratulating me on the win there. And yeah, of course, my YouTube chat, the Go and Pit Crew, all of those guys in there in the chat. We had over actually a stream record for Gears tonight. We had over 200 viewers watching the end of that race. So fantastic stuff.
Damn. Well, Gary, I get like maybe 24. So that's amazing for you to get.
We need to bring them over to you.
No, you don't. That's amazing. I'm very thankful for the guys and gals who come over, and I got to tell you, some drivers or some viewers did come over here tonight, which was amazing.
Awesome.
Again, hats off to your team and everybody. Hats off to you, man. You've had a great season, Rookie of the Year contender. I don't know if you've seen the survey, but you are definitely a part of that. Again, congratulations on win number 2, and we'll see you here next week at Chicagoland.
Where are we racing next? Oh, Chicagoland. That'll be a fun one. I'm looking forward to it.
Hey, make it 2 in a row. You got something to say for the championship, my friend.
Let's make it happen. Thank you, guys. Go watch X Horseboat X on Twitch for the official broadcast. They're doing a great job over there.
Thank you, Gary. I appreciate that, brother. Yeah, congratulations on win number 2. We'll see you here next week.
See you guys then.
That is amazing. Again, Gary, an awesome dude. Thankful to have him whenever we can. For wins, even better. But again, he is your winner here tonight of the Gears Cup Series Rocket League 100 boost, sponsored by the 7 self-spinning Joseph Enright. Again, that's going to wrap it up here for me tonight. On another Monday night next week is going to be Chicagoland, as mentioned, as forewarned. Again, DeWalt Power Tools 200, sponsored by Mike DeWalt himself. Again, right here, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. Again, come early. Join in the pre-race festivities. Again, happy to have you for all of us here at Gears. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you here right here next week for Chicagoland.